Almost all of our sorrows spring out of our relations with other people. To feel envy is human, to savor Schadenfreude is devilish. To overcome difficulties is to experience the full delight of existence. Hatred is an affair of the heart, contempt that of the head. He who does not enjoy solitude will not love freedom. After your death you will be what you were before your birth. Vulgar people take huge delight in the faults and follies of great men. We forfeit 3/4 of ourselves in order to be like other people. Genius and madness have something in common. Both live in a world that is different from that which exists for everyone else. A happy life is impossible. The best that a man can attain is a heroic life. I know of no more beautiful prayer than that which the Hindus of old used in closing. May all that have life be delivered from suffering. A pessimist is an optimist in full possession of the facts. Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. You are free to do what you want, but you are not free to want what you want. A high degree of intellect tends to make a man unsocial. Marrying means to grasp blindfolded into a sack hoping to find out an eel out of an assembly of snakes. We seldom think of what we have but always of what we lack. Therefore, rather than grateful, we are bitter. Man is never happy, but spends his whole life in striving after something which he thinks will make him so. Just remember, once you're over the hill you begin to pick up speed. What people commonly call fate is mostly their own stupidity. If we suspect that a man is lying, we should pretend to believe him, for then he becomes bold and assured, lies more vigorously, and is unmasked. What people commonly call fate is mostly their own stupidity. The person who writes for fools is always sure of a large audience. The tallest oak tree once was an acorn that any pig could have swallowed. The shortness of life, so often lamented, may be the best thing about it. The universe is a dream dreamed by a single dreamer where all the dream characters dream too. The wise have always said the same things, and fools, who are the majority, have always done just the opposite. To use many words to communicate few thoughts is everywhere the unmistakable sign of mediocrity. To gather much thought into few words stamps the man of genius. The fruits of Christianity were religious wars, butcheries, crusades, inquisitions, extermination of the natives of America, and the introduction of African slaves in their place. Happiness belongs to those who are sufficient unto themselves. For all external sources of happiness and pleasure are, by their very nature, highly uncertain, precarious, ephemeral, and subject to chance. Please like, subscribe, and share my YouTube channel. Thanks. The safest way of not being very miserable is not to expect to be very happy. Man is the only animal who causes pain to others with no other object than wanting to do so. Pleasure is never as pleasant as we expected it to be, and pain is always more painful. The pain in the world always outweighs the pleasure. If you don't believe it, compare the respective feelings of two animals, one of which is eating the other. Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become, and the same is true of fame. Mostly it is loss which teaches us about the worth of things. The greatest of follies is to sacrifice health for any other kind of happiness. When you look back on your life, it looks as though it were a plot, but when you are into it, it's a mess, just one surprise after another. Then later you see it was perfect. Every man takes the limits of his own field of vision for the limits of the world. Please like, subscribe, and share my YouTube channel. Thanks.